You are the convener of the Katsina Security Community Initiative. I want to know from you, because not at the instance of the state government, but at the instance of communities, so we are told. A lot of negotiation happened in the last 1 year or so. But look at where we are now. Abductions left, right, and center. Is it that negotiation and all that were phantom, or something obstructed the process midway?
No, I say right from the word go, they are not interested of having peace in the state or to eradicate the banditry.
Who doesn't
the
have
government.
it?
In the case of Katsina, they came with their so-called group of peace approach. It was funded by governments.
At the local level?
At of the state level. Because how can chairman of local government spend money without the authority of governor? He can't go. He can't even pursue it. And more especially, Mike, why, this is something sometimes you cannot understand. The Minister of Defense, this gentleman who is now the Minister of Defense, when he was Chief of Army and now as Minister of Defense, he said they reject.
Musa.
Yeah, he said they reject in totality these negotiations. Because how can you sit and negotiate with a murderer? And then in that process, you create a contradiction. I have seen news that a lady caught with ammunition in Katsina was sent to death by Katsina High Court. And this lady wanted to take the ammunition to Audu Lankai in Jibia. And Audu Lankai is one of the biggest bandits. But this Audu Lankai, he interacts with government. So the person who...
Are you making an allegation, or that is the reality?
It's a fact. They know. The government meets with him. The government sits with him. Government allow committee to go and sit and do this kind of thing with them. And the government knows some of this kind of thing. Even the case of Muhammadu
Namfulani,
who captured General. He was having discussions
with the government up to the time and
he
captured Rabe.
Yes, he has been. They said that he was a nice person. They can be able to communicate with him. He will help them to stop some of the bandits when they come. And this boy, Hamza, he is 22 years old, and he is operating with Bosho. That's his gang friend. And Osho is 24. And all of them were trained by Barau, who is from Ntumaki. And this Muhammad is from Karadua in Musa local government.
And they are all alive?
They are all alive. Their parents are alive. Everybody knows. And why these people who are staying, these terrorists, they are not in the bush or in the rocks. They are staying in the planet. So they know. So when they captured this man, if they wanted, they know the bandit leaders. In fact, it is alleged in Katsina, the government paid about 10 million for bandits to go to Saudi Arabia for Hajj.
You are making grievous allegations.
Yeah, I said this is an allegation. It's an allegation.
You heard about it, or someone showcased the evidence?
No,
of
they know. Let them say that some of these big bandits like Manuri, like this guy around Ronka area, and many of them are in Saudi Arabia. I don't know that they are back.
Bandit leaders.
Bandit leaders.
And they know they are bandit leaders.
Of course, they know.
Okay, to go to Saudi Arabia to pray for peace or to assuage them so that when they return, they now surrender.
No, maybe to ridicule the religion. Because how can you be a murderer? You don't have any faith. And then they take you to Mecca and call you Al-Hajj. And then they allow you to fly from Nigerian airport and come back from Nigerian airport. And these are people who not only kill civilians, but they kill also the military. So now, but what happened? When these governors they come with the issue of Sea-Watch, Askarawa, all these local vigilante. And this local vigilante which they have taken, they recruited. Most of them are drug addicts. They also now create a lot of havoc. Right now, there is a case which I sent to the Inspector General of Police of some of these decoys recruit Sea-Watch went and tortured somebody in a village to death, their own group. And now the danger also this is bringing is that by the time people feel that they are not safe, and now what people do now, they don't go to police, they don't go to something, they go to this local people which is recruited by government. That's why I'm very, very concerned of the issue of state police. Because now it's the same recruitment process. You recruit people under the command of the governor. And also, sometimes you find that even the people given the schedule, the responsibility of that security, they are completely reckless. Take the example of the chairman, the commissioner of internal security of Katsina. After Rabi died,
General Rabi,
yes, he said that he died of hypertension and high blood pressure.
Was it not true?
So, Hamza, nobody can declare somebody that he died on cause of death except when we go through autopsy. Was he a doctor? Somebody died, you didn't even see his body. Who tell him? So because what is assumed he was trying to do, so that maybe drastic action should not be taken against the bandit, that look, this thing is a natural death. It's what's a press statement. When the children denied that, then he come and said that no, it was tetanus. How do you have this kind of reckless statement from an official of government? Because I think maybe they were afraid that they will ransack the entire area, which probably they have interest, I don't know. Because you know, in those days, when we were young, I don't know later, if you kill a soldier in your area, to the whole community will have to relocate because they know the soldiers will come and destroy everything. But now, of course, the soldiers now are
nothing.
There's nothing.
Okay, don't you think Katsina State government is also in a tight corner? Because the belief is that security is the sole responsibility of the federal government, and there is the likelihood that these bandits have overwhelmed whatever system the state government, had put in place over time. Now, it is now to manage them. And the only way to manage is to maybe use some of these senior bandits to, douse the escalation of crisis.
The whole philosophy of life is to do basic justice. So somebody who murder people, who rape people, you as government, then you are sitting with him. Because what Katsina have done actually is what creates even this wider crisis in the country. Because now you say peace deal. Before, there is no bandit that can go and cross any of the town easily.
Across the local government?
No way. But now when you make this peace deal, they say you don't touch them. Even if they go and steal in Kanu, they didn't steal in Katsina. So allow them passage. I have seen that in my own village. Near my own house, in my own village, there is one of these government people who is part of the negotiator of the bandits. You see the bandit come to his house, be smoking their hemp and all this around.
In his house? Yeah, around Kurfi?
Around, yes. So, and also now, if government is not doing basic justice, what do you say? I can tell you, there is one man, his son was making this motorcycle business. Then he didn't see him for 17 years, for 17 months, 17 days. And then they found out when they caught some by different crime, some two people, they said that they killed the boy and sold his motorcycle. So they reported to the police reported, And then the police went and retrieved the motorcycle of the deceased. They killed that person. The people whom were arrested was the my guard of the farm of a former local government chairman. And then they say, why did you take the body? They say, we went inside Kurfi, not more than up to 50 meters from my house. They say, we buried him there. And then they say, okay, dig him out. They dig the dead body. Up to today, nobody called the former chairman, the owner of the house, the owner of the farm. So when people are saying this, you are looking for recipe for crisis. And even in the case of when you take Oyo State and all this, because people are not following the reality of what is happening in this banditry. I can tell you, from most of our towns, every week, you will have a bus full of mostly, I can tell you, bandits going to Elisha, where they have mining center there. And some of them will get fought up and all this, and they are brought home, killed in maybe their own local fights. And of course, there are some genuine people who go. So now there are a lot of bandits who want to escape the attack from the local community where they are. So their only place to go is to go to the southwest, and also in Benin, they also go there. So they are tempted in that society, and only God knows what will be the consequence of that, because there are many number that are criminals, and they will link with their local criminals, either in Oyo, in Ondo, or in Benin. You know, in my understanding now,
yes,
the Nigerian security, number one, they are not, you can see lack of commitment when they are
from the foot soldiers or from the leadership?
From whatever the leadership. Before, a typical security person, he see himself, he is in the security of the state, not security of a regime. But now you find police commissioner aligned with a governor. They do so many havoc. And you know, in those days, if you are a police commissioner, you are taken to a place this month, they kill one person. Next 3 months, they kill 20. You will have to report. You have to be correct. But now that is not done. But also to be fair to them now, you kill them, their even entitlement will not be there. I know a case in Kaduna where we even have to go and intervene in the police. One more Paul was killed. His wife was staying in the barrack. They ejected her the following week. So there is also that.
I saw a story, of course. I read it, I think, today or yesterday. A senior police officer saying they now have, is it over 3 billion in burial entitlements? You know, just to pay benefits to families of deceased to bury their loved ones.
Yes. So that's why they too, you wound them, nobody take real concrete care of them. Their children may not go to school. But then you have quite a number of them who are too dangerous because they become in between of selling arms to the bandits. They also sell drugs, because drugs issue also is a very important aspect in this struggle. So, but what is happening as well is that the security, now the situation where you have this employee of governor giving you guns. When we were operating in those days, we were buying packets of these 25 pieces of ammunition of pump action, 25,000 naira. Today is about 100,000 or 200. So now you give a local man, a village man, you say he is your own local hunter or whatever. You give him something he can sell. If you are selling to the bandit, it will be like 300,000. So you
buy it from the approved channel, 100,000. The bandits 300,000.
Yes, this is what they do. So so also all the ammunition they buy, even water, if you are taking to them, is basically taken.
Okay, I want to understand, why is it difficult to raid Rugu Forest, Kogo Forest, Dumburan Forest? This is just in Katsina. When you go to Kaduna, you have the Kamuku, right? You have the Kuduru, you have the Kuyambana.
Yes.
If you go to Zampara, You have the Dansa, the Sububu, Bingi.
Yes.
If you go to Sokoto, you have the Gatawa, you have the Mashema. All these are forests.
Yes.
They are not in the moon.
Yes.
And this is where these bandits live. In your estimation, as someone who has studied this, why is it difficult to raid these places and sanitize them?
It's not difficult. I think there is no will to do it.
Will from who?
From the government. And those politicians are very reckless and to some extent very irresponsible, because only irresponsible person that they will be killing our people on a daily basis, bloodshed, and you don't think it is important to.
And you know where these bandits?
Because, I mean, with the technology you have now, you can even know where a drop of a pin.
We had a video earlier, you know, the bandits just moving.
Yes, they move, and also with sophisticated arms, because they move with AK. And then so you say that, but that commitment is not there, and to some extent I think maybe there must be some relationship of why aspect of government will allow this thing to continue while actually it can be stopped. But the reality is that if they want any location of all the bandits, we are prepared to connect with them to show them if they...
You know where the bandits are?
We have an idea. Because most of these bandits operate like in Kazina. They are not inside any rock or whatever. They are on the surface.
I mentioned the name.
Yeah. All those some you mentioned, because all people didn't know the psychology of Fulani man. Fulani man will never hide under a cape because he thinks he can be trapped. But if it is within the forest, he thinks he's the king of the forest.
And they can be seen in area.
They will see Rabi when he died. Who brought his body? Bandits. Drop him and went back. Now you abdicate your responsibility. And also people don't see it like a national issue. But this is a structured national issue. Because if you are from Oyo State, and then they say they budgeted 1 trillion naira for security, and this 1 trillion naira, 80% of this 1 trillion naira go to the north. And you hear they are killing something, you have the responsibility to question. Because if this 8 trillion, 70% of the 1 trillion going to the north, if ordinarily there is this insecurity, that money will be available for the whole country to share. And responsible governors can be able to develop something for their people.
These bandits, are they Nigerians?
They are from the local communities. Those who take General Rabi. I even know the location of their house.
You know the location of the...
Yes.
And the parents are there?
Of course. Now the danger even we are facing, and I think, and we should say it, this peace deal also have some connection with the incoming election. Now, in most of our local governments, there is no way 70% of the areas to say anybody will have access to go and conduct election.
70%?
Yes.
Are you referring to Katsina only or across the northwest?
Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, and all, they know it.
There will be election.
Tell me in Katsina, if outside the headquarters of local government, how many towns you can go, or villages, to go and send an electoral officer to go and conduct, or politician to go and campaign.
And it is the same in Zamfara?
The same in Zamfara, the same in Sokoto. Didn't you hear Bafara today in BBC? He said in his whole local government, Bafara, where he come from, now he cannot step into Bafara.
But they want to have election there.
So now the issue where they have, I think, the peace deal, and then how the governors rush into some kind of amalgamation. Basically, the whole Nigerian governors are in one party now. So now the issue are there. Elections have not been held in villages, which we know it will not. But yet you will come with the result. and announce the result, because nobody can go there and even verify. So we have to be careful, because if certain things are going anyhow, so there can be some problem. But it's still not very late. If people want, they can still come together to look at this thing concretely for the interest of our country. And people have to know, if you are in position of government, you have a responsibility to protect the dignity of your own people. And these security agents, soldiers, police, and what who have access to those places, how can they are stupendiously rich soldiers who go to the war front?
So it's an economy.
So it's become an economy, and I don't think those who are involved in that, they want the peace. In fact, one time one Niger soldier asked me, do this your security people read the oath of office? Because you find out you have an oath of office, and then you betray.
But you know, the soldiers always say they don't have even the weapons to fight. You know, the bandits are more sophisticated.
Well, I don't think Nigerian soldiers, Hamza, how can you have soldiers who have tanks, who have artillery, who have air force, who have navy, who have so-called DMI, Nigerian intelligence, and all this collaboration with their training? What to say, bush Fulani men on the motorcycle are chasing them away.
So it's not true. Something is that's foul play.
They can't play with people's intelligence. They should tell the facts.
All right, thank you very much. I wish we have more time, Dr.